Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John here. We're talking about the 22 and on up Husky and KTM 350 EXC or FE350S. This is a FE350S. Just some mods that you can do that don't take any money. Especially useful to do on a new bike. I want to make this video pretty quick and easy, so this isn't a full how-to. I have some videos that I'll try to link up about how to do a lot of this. One of the first things is the fender delete. To do this, I guess you do have to purchase some lights, but you could use your factory lights, so I guess this is a free mod. You could put your factory lights in here. This comes with really all the things you need to just shift this light up, the one that was down here, on up, and then you remove one of the other lights out. I have a video on that, so just a quick easy thing to tidy up your bike, make it look nice and clean. That was one of the first things I did with this bike that didn't really cost any money, just some time. I do have a video on that. Another thing is to just grease your clutch bolts here. You can pull out your clutch and brake bolt, pull this out, grease it up, put some grease on your clutch here and on the pivot where this articulates with that or has friction on that. Just use some waterproof grease. I use some Maxima grease, but you could really use anything. It's just really quick and easy. I'll do that every, I don't know, 5 rides or so. Just pull that out, grease it. Same thing on the other side over here. You just kind of pull that out, grease it, pull this out, grease in here, clean it up if it's dirty before you grease it. All that, most of us have grease around, so that doesn't take any money to do that, and you can do that to almost any bike that has bolts like that. That's really quick. Another thing that you can do is putting never seize on a couple areas, especially on a new bike, or grease. Zip out your chain adjuster bolts, put some never seize on there, and then when you run them in, I usually save that for when I'm removing the full tire, the back rear tire. So it's definitely something to do there. Another place that bolt likes to seize is down in here, this guy, because you can see it's recessed so the chain doesn't wear on it. That collects water and dirt and mud and stuff, so pull that out, put some never seize on it, zip it back in. Those can seize up in there and be just difficult to get out. So that's a good thing to do. Dielectric grease on your ignition switch connector. You remove your mask. I have a video on this, and there's a connector back really right behind the mask right here, and it's just a matter of putting a little grease on that. So just disconnect that, and there's a little connector back here. You can put some dielectric grease. That plug-in, I guess, corrodes and then can leave you stranded. So that's just another thing you can do. All it takes is a little dielectric grease to put on that plug-in to keep water out. Another thing, most of us have WD-40 around. Okay, nothing special here. I like to spray it on my header after a ride and spray it on a rag, and then you can just wipe that off. And I've had this exhaust filthy to where it has cooked on mud. This bike has a couple thousand miles on it, most of which is up in the mountains on mud. I live in Oregon, so lots of mud and debris. So this bike, as you can see, looks nice and clean. People see it and think, well, you hardly ride it. Well, no, it's been ridden a lot. It's just, it gets detailed when it gets back. And I do find that even after washing it, taking a little WD-40 to this with just a cloth towel or shop towel, it kind of keeps that nice and clean. If you do it, I may not do it every time, but if you do it most times afterwards, it just kind of stays kind of clean like that. And most of us have WD-40 around, so nothing, no real cost there if you have some of that around. Kickstand bolt replacement. When these bikes come new, pretty much all of us know that in your kit comes an extra bolt here so that this doesn't retract up, move up the minute you take weight off it. I find that kind of dangerous because I know it's a safety thing. They don't want somebody running off with their kickstand down, but it was more of a hazard for me, because if you're washing your bike and you lift your bike, lean it to the right, this thing would pop up, and then you move it back over and your kickstand's gone. But all you got to do is pull out the bolt that comes when it's new and put in a different bolt, and then it will quit. I think it's a shorter bolt, and it's in your factory parts that come with your bike. Again, no money, just using the bolt that you have. The last thing that I'd recommend, it doesn't cost any extra money, is using non-ethanol fuel if you can get a hold of it. If you can't, it's okay. Use some fuel stabilizer, some stable in there. If the bike's going to sit more than 4 weeks. That ethanol is notorious for gumming up your tank, your carburetor, I should say, fuel injection system if the bike sits. So I would highly recommend using some fuel stabilizer if the bike's going to sit very long. It's winter. I'm not riding the bike as much right now, so that's something that I would highly recommend. So just some quick, easy things that don't take any money, just maybe a little bit of time and some grease, some anti-seize, and WD-40. Feel free to like and subscribe. I have some other videos coming up. I'm going to do one shortly here on the modifications I've done to this bike to help it so it doesn't flame out. I really like how it runs. So stay tuned. I'll be covering that next. And I do have videos on a lot of the things I just covered, but just wanted to give a quick summary of things you can do to your bike that don't take any money. All right, keep riding and enjoy the adventure.